I'm going to do a demonstration and a initial testing of one of these ovulation strips, because I did get a positive Wondfo today. Let's see if I can get it. Even though it doesn't look very positive to you guys because of the lighting in here, it is positive, and it's actually a really dark positive. So we're going to compare what my positive Wondfos look like to the ovulation strips that Fairhaven sent me. These are BFP Ovulation Tests. You open the package just like you would open any other package. Inside, it's going to have a strip and one of these little silicone packets. I always get rid of the silicone packet. And then I keep the wrapper so that I can lay the test strip down on it while it's developing. Fairhaven that's all that they on the back of this it has, they sent me a sheet of paper for the test instructions. If you guys can see this, this is for their ovulation strips. And this is actually pretty extensive. It tells you you got how many cycle days you have right here. It'll tell you which day you should begin testing on. I actually really like the instructions that they have sent with this. This is really in-depth and very informative. I'm going to go ahead and dip the test strip. Initially, one thing that I do like about the big fat positive strips is that they are thicker than my Wondfos. You can see that they're about almost double in thickness, which makes them easier to hold and probably easier to read. I'm going to go ahead and dip this. And we'll see what happens. Okay. You can see that there is a fair amount of dye in these strips. I'm going to lay it down flat so it can start developing. It says to dip the test into the urine approximately a quarter inch and hold it there for at least 5 seconds. Longer dipping times will not produce false results. Do not dip past the stop line. Remove the test strip and lay it flat down, then wait 5 minutes. And on the package it says to read your results between 5 to 10 minutes. Do not read the results after 10 minutes. And then it gives you a nice little chart down here that tells you how to interpret your results, because a lot of people have a lot of confusion when it comes to the LH strips, because it doesn't say just a yes or no. Just because you get a line in the test area on an LH strip does not mean that it's positive. That your test line has to be as dark as the control line or darker. This actually it goes into how ovulation works. When you're supposed to use these strips and why you should be using them. What drugs will affect your LH levels. I mean, these are really comprehensive instructions. I actually have never seen a company go to this length of doing instructions like this for ovulation strips. So I'm actually pretty impressed with the instructions that come with it. That they put a lot of time and effort into this, and that really means a lot to me, because a lot of women have a lot of trouble with the ovulation tests and interpreting whether or not they are a positive or a negative. This is so far how much it has developed, which we haven't reached the 10-minute mark yet. And I don't know what the surge level is set to for these strips. They may be more sensitive or less sensitive than the Wondfos. But that's a pretty dark line. So far, I would take that, as it looks right now, as an almost positive. But I'm going to give it a couple more minutes and see if it gets even darker than that. But you guys have to remember that I'm also using urine from my second peak day, so my LH levels have went down a little bit. So that could cause this test not to be completely positive, but look almost positive. So far, I'm actually pretty impressed with the development time and how easy they are to read. I like the fact that they are thicker and easier to hold than the Wondfos. I guess the only thing that I think they're a little bit more expensive than the Wondfos, so that's something that you have to consider as well. I do really like them, though. It's darkening up a tad bit. I would call that an almost positive, if not all the way positive, which is exactly where it should be. I'd say it's pretty much positive. The test line is just a tidbit lighter than the control line, but since I know that my LH levels have already started to decline, that explains that, and I think that this would have shown a nice blazing positive yesterday whenever I first got my LH surge. So, on the big fat positive ovulation strips, I love them. I'm going to have to look more into them and compare them to what I'm already purchasing for ovulation strips, to see how they stack up as far as price point goes. But I like the thickness. They're very easy to read, quick to develop, and they are accurate. And this instructions that these ladies obviously took a very long time to, a lot of love and patience and hard work went into this, and it shows. And this is probably the best instructions that I've ever seen come with ovulation strips. I definitely don't get anything like this with my Wondfo. So if you are a beginner at trying to conceive, then I definitely would recommend you go with the BFP brand, because it's going to explain to you exactly how they work, exactly how to interpret them, and just from looking at mine right here, they are very accurate. They're just as sensitive as the Wondfos, if not a little bit more, because the longer that this sits here, the darker that line actually gets, which is turning it to a positive. So overall, I'm fairly impressed, and I may actually be switching brands of ovulation strips. If you guys if you found this video informative or informational in any way, please don't forget to leave your comments and replies down below. I will get back with you as soon as I possibly can. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And for all of you who are continuing to support and watch this channel, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot to me. And I will be back here in a few minutes with another video, as I'm trying to get as many of them packed in today as I can, as it's the weekend and my husband is home and I don't have a screaming toddler at my legs. So I will see you guys in another few minutes. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that you ladies have a lovely night. Bye.